What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. But guys, a pretty sweet video today. Today we're going to be talking about a game called Temtem, which is a game that is in development right now and is in a Kickstarter campaign where you can pledge to basically have them work on the game and kind of add a number of different improvements to it. And if you haven't seen what Temtem is about or any of the information about it, it looks like it's going to be a really awesome game, and it's very similar to Pokemon. In fact, they've basically said that they are taking a lot of inspiration from the Pokemon games, and they're trying to create a game that kind of captures a lot of the elements that people love about Pokemon while adding their own spin to the game themselves. Now, I have spoken to the Temtem team, and they have given me permission to make this video and use the assets in this video, so thank you to you guys. And I want to let you guys know I'm not sponsored or affiliated with Temtem in any way. I'm simply a fan, and I did back the Kickstarter myself. Check it out in the description below. I'm making this video on my own will and my own desire because I think this game can be absolutely incredible, and I sincerely hope that it gets fully developed and we get an opportunity to play a game that is like the Pokemon games that we love, but maybe even better in some aspects and different in some aspects and things like that. And there are a lot of similarities, don't get me wrong, but I think this is going to be a really awesome game, and it's the first like that I've seen real legitimate attempt to kind of take the Pokemon formula and take it to like an online style of gaming, first of all, and second of all, you know, kind of listen to the community feedback, which is something we've seen done so effectively with games like Fortnite as of late, where they're listening to the community actively and they're able to make improvements to their game as a result of doing so. So I think that's really cool, and I love Pokemon, guys, don't get me wrong, but I'm excited for this potential game to be developed and release an alpha in 2019 and then hopefully beyond. So you can see the Kickstarter. I actually found it when it was at about like maybe $50,000 or $60,000 pledge right before they hit their goal. I did back it, like I said. Now they're at $215,000 and headed towards a Nintendo Switch kind of goal, where if they hit $250,000, they're going to be developing for the Switch. But before I talk your ears off about Temtem, let's just watch this little trailer here because it's actually pretty incredible, so you guys can kind of get a feel for what Temtem is all about. So you can see it's like an open world type of vibe. You kind of encounter the Temtems in the wild, as you can see here, very much so Pokemon-esque. You know, they're throwing these kind of capture devices, and the Temtem are coming out. They have attacks. They can do double battles, kind of like that, fire tornado. So they have these animated attacks and so on and so forth. As you can see, that comes down from the sky. There's clearly some sort of status because this Temtem was sleeping, it looks like, and then it's captured in this like kind of ball in a way, obviously. Customizable characters, which is really cool. The Temtems do follow you as you cross the bridge, and again, you can see other characters kind of following you as well as you're in this like massive online environment. But there's also, well, here's some customization options, so you can kind of create your own house and customize your own house in different ways, which is really cool, almost like a Sims type feature. You can interact with those people online, which is super cool. And there's like dojos instead of gyms, and obviously there's some different interactions here. You're gonna do a Temtem battle against this person, which is really cool. So you can see, I mean, there's some serious comparisons to Pokemon here. I mean, there's no joke. This Temtem is evolving into a new form, and they have said that they are gonna likely make some tweaks to the game and stuff like that to try to make it a little less like Pokemon, but that's definitely something they're actively saying. Now, obviously, the first question that comes to mind is, are there concerns from a legal perspective? We've seen a number of different Pokemon games get shut down, like fan-made games and stuff like that, but those all use the, you know, they use Pokemon assets. This is kind of reimagining Pokemon in a way, and they're not using any of Nintendo's assets, so they're not actually using any Pokemon. They're not using any, you know, of the moves or anything like that, so there's a lot of things that are kind of different. So, from my understanding, the Temtem team is not really super concerned about legal issues because they are creating their own assets, and I guess time will tell with that one, but they don't seem to be super duper confirmed. So, this talks about the different kind of aspects here, and you guys can check out the Kickstarter. We'll kind of go through it. Here's the different stretch goals. They have reached the Nuzlocke mode. They are adding a new Temtem. They have the mounts, and now we're headed towards the Nintendo Switch, which is their next goal at 250. It does seem like that is pretty likely. A bunch of different add-ons for kind of doing the different Kickstarter campaign. The different, I guess these are the starters or some sort of type starters. I want to go to the type chart here. So they have their own kind of type chart. Obviously there's no Pokemon type chart, but there's a neutral, but then you have fire, nature, which I guess is where bugs kind of fit in, because I did ask about bug types. So that kind of captures nature and grass types. You have water, you have electric, you have mental, which I guess is kind of like psychic. You have earth, wind, crystal, which may be kind of, I guess, the replacement for dragons. You have digital, which is kind of cool. Melee, toxic, and fire. Again, I mentioned fire, but you can kind of see the type chart and how that breaks down. So a lot of similarities there, but they've kind of created their own type chart, which is pretty cool. They've got their own combat system as it's turn-based. So again, we see so many similarities. They're even doing breeding as well. But it's kind of like Pokemon's been around for 20 plus years, and they've fleshed out this incredible system when it comes to various like monster creatures. And again, I personally don't know of any games that have really kind of taken that formula and tried to replicate it in a slightly different way. So this is really an opportunity for this franchise to really have an option to like really take off. And we see that time and time again. It's not like, I don't know from a legal perspective. I'm not a lawyer, but I've seen, think of the battle royale genre, how many battle royale games there are. Call of Duty's coming out with one, Fortnite, obviously, PUBG, H1Z1. That's based off the Hunger Games concept. So it's like, who owns the right to battle royales? I don't know. Who owns the right to shooting games in general? Other companies make different sports games. I mean, it's going to be an interesting situation on that front, but nevertheless, it's super exciting to kind of see these creatures developed, and I'm personally really excited, and I just sincerely hope it's able to kind of hang in there and actually be kind of a game that we get a chance to play one day. So they got some customizable options, really cool options to customize your trainer. There is going to be competitive, which is really cool. They talk about the archipelago, which are floating islands where the Temtem and humans exist, and there's a bunch of different islands that you can kind of go through. Here's a list of the different islands. There's different like dojo people, so there's people who are like the leaders and things like that. And then we talk about the different benefits to supporting the campaign here. And then this is their development. It's a studio in, I believe, Spain that's developing it. They've got the music, they've got the whole Kickstarter thing. Really, really cool stuff there. So really excited to kind of see where Temtem goes. Like, I personally am really stoked. I mean, if the trailer doesn't jump out to you enough, like I feel like this game has the potential to be incredible, not only from a graphical perspective but a gameplay perspective. So I'm really stoked, and I'm really stoked that they're listening to the community. They have an active Discord server, which I've been a part of. They've been active on Twitter, and really awesome to respond to my messages and things like that. They're like doing votes to see which Temtem are going to be added, so like fans are voting on designs for different Temtem. That's pretty cool as well, and I just really feel like this is how games are developed in 2018 and beyond, like, or at least some games. And these kind of games I feel like tend to do really well because the community is so actively involved. So overwhelmingly, you're gonna be able to get the feedback immediately and make action to the game towards that. So that's really cool. So they've got a Wikipedia page here as well, which is pretty sick. You can check out some of the different Temtem that they've like actively created, like this lion, fire, rise. So that's a really cool one. It may come from the word rise. So they've got like this active kind of Wikipedia page that's getting filled out. This one's like a really popular one. This wind Pig Epic, I don't know. Picky Peck. No, we're not. It's not that. So it's pig and epic. So that's cool. So I'm sure this thing is gonna like have some sort of crazy evolution. You got Teteru, which is this little neutral type apparently. He's like a little dude chilling in there. We've got I think we saw some of these Magmus, which I think this dude looks really cool. I'm really excited about this one. His type's not even known. He evolves into Mastion. Let's see if we can find that one. Yeah, that's this one right here. This guy's a beast. Look at this one, dude. This one looks incredible. So some really cool ones. There's actually one shown in the trailer that I don't think is on the wiki. It's like one of the probably the bug ones, because I'm trying to get some sick bug types. Pukey. Yeah, Pukey is like this little fish dude. He's like a little piranha homie. So, and he evolves into Piranha. Oh, so it's actually like there's some pages that like aren't active. I don't know why I can't see them all, but they've also got their Instagram page where they're kind of showing things off as they go. Zazar, this might be like a new one that's kind of in development right now. They kind of just showed this 40 minutes ago as of me making this video, so that's pretty cool. That's gonna be a new one. They're all animated. This is the mounts that they recently reached the goal for, so you can mount and ride the different Temtem. For all my shiny hunting friends out there, they have their own variation called Luma. So instead of shiny Temtem, they have Luma Temtem, which are really cool. And I have reached out to them and I said, guys, I know you're gonna do Luma Temtem. That is phenomenal. Please give us not only a shiny or Luma Temtem, but give us something even rarer than that. Give me a monochrome or a rainbow or a shadow Temtem as well. And they were like, let's get through one thing at a time. That was kind of like the answer they gave me, but I feel like they are definitely open to that idea. Here's another version of a Luma Temtem, and looks really cool how it like kind of glistens and sparkles the entire time. Here's an example of them like taking votes to like decide, hey, which one do you guys want us to add to the game? And I feel like people are able to vote and kind of give their input on the Discord server and so on and so forth. And there's just a ton of other ones, like some really cool designs. Like, I'm pretty hyped about them. Let me see if I can find any that I think, like, this guy looks pretty cool, dude. Look at this little guy. He looks pretty intense. I like it. Oh, he was ready to rock. There's this pretty crazy Raikan, which I think is probably the evolution of one of the other dudes we were just looking at. So just really cool stuff, man. I'm personally really excited about this. I think that there's just a lot of opportunity to. Oh, this is the homie I was looking for. This little guy. This little guy looks super cute. I like this little guy. So I don't know if that's a nature type or what it is, but it's the closest thing to a bug I've seen so far. And you can see they kind of show some of the concept art. It's just an opportunity to be a part of this huge development of this game in the early stages. That's incredible to me. But as Pokemon fans, I have one little bit of information that I wanted to share with you guys, and I actually got to hear about this before it was even officially announced, and I didn't want to take the thunder of making a video about it, and I had some other videos scheduled and stuff, so I didn't get a chance to really talk too much about it. But how many of you guys remember, wait, where did it go? How many of you guys remember this little guy right here? The platypus fake art that leaked a couple months ago, where everyone was freaking out that this was going to be a water type starter in the Pokemon games, and then it turns out it was just 50 Shades of Heliolisk. You kind of made some fan art of the different starters. This one, the little bunny, and then can't remember, the grass monkey I think was the third one. Well, it turns out that this guy Poke Ninja actually ended up buying the rights to this artwork from the artist, and then pledged enough money in the Kickstarter so that way he can choose his own Pokemon Temtem design. And in that case, Temtem is gonna make this little platypus in the game. So this little platypus guy is actually coming true in the game, and it's gonna be a Temtem when all is said and done. So it started as a fake Pokemon that like took the Pokemon community by storm. Everyone loved this little platypus dude, is now gonna actually become a Temtem because this dude got the rights of it from the owner, and then reached out to Temtem, pledged enough money to create his own Temtem, and then they're gonna make this little platypus happen. I thought that was super duper cool. It's really sick because again, this design was like just absolutely loved by the community. When this like fake leak came out, or rumor or whatever, that this was gonna be a starter, people like lost their minds. I don't think anyone disliked this little dude, and if they did, it was a very small minority of people who like really didn't like this design. So this little dude is gonna become a Temtem, which I think is pretty sweet as well. So let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on Temtem. Are you gonna back the Kickstarter? Again, no pressure, like it's up to you. I was just giving you guys the details because a lot of people haven't heard about this yet, and I think it's super exciting and epic, and I'm really excited to see kind of how this goes and be a part of the development process myself. As like I said, I'm active in the Discord, I've been following the Twitter, I've been on the Instagram, like I'm doing all that stuff, and it's an opportunity to be a part of something so much bigger that could end up being an amazing game and an amazing franchise in the future, and we just keep our fingers crossed that happens. Again, I know that there's a fine line when it comes to the legality of it, and again, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know all the details there, but my understanding is they feel pretty safe and comfortable at this point because they're not going to be using any of the assets from Nintendo. So as long as they kind of keep it just separate enough, hopefully they'll be okay. But I guess time will tell on that one. But nevertheless, it's very exciting to see, very excited to talk about, and I'm excited to see the future of Temtem. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you're new. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace. Thanks so much for checking out my last video. If you like that one, you'll definitely like this one, and be sure to subscribe for more as I post Pokemon videos every single day.